Yeah, I'll do a quick introduction for you, and then you can just start when I'm done. Okay, I think everyone can hear me. Just test, just making sure. Okay, I think everyone. Okay, cool. All right, we have ourselves here, Sanjan doing Octopath Traveler on PC, Primrose single story, and just reminder this. Any donations goes to I Support the Girls, just helps with all the ladies with essential items, including like bras, underwear, hygiene products, and other stuff like that. So I can hear no one. Okay, thanks, Max. Anyways, yeah, there's also an incentive for this run. If Sanjan wants to explain that, we're good to go.
So hello everyone, I'm Sanjan. I'll be speedrunning this game. I'll be doing Primrose Single Story, which is, we just complete all 4 chapters of, Primrose Single Story. So if you see here, there's 8 characters you can select. But we'll only be completing Primrose's story, which is split into 4 chapters. And yeah, the incentives I'm gonna do is, there's a certain really funny cutscene around the halfway mark that I'll be very badly voice acting if you donate $20 to see it, and I promise you, it's gonna be really funny. So
Can I just say that someone already did it? So
oh, someone already did it.
Yeah, there was a dono before this from Balva Davix for $15 with no comment, and Sinashore did $20. Good luck to Sanjan helping out Primrose with her revenge. She's a tough girl, so $20 right there.
All right, well, okay, you guys all speed ran this faster than I did. All right, I see. Okay, yeah, I can do that. Just give me a moment. If you don't hear a sound, it's because I'm... Actually, this is about as loud as it gets, so I'll just only turn it down a little bit. It's only the intro. Okay, so yeah, so time starts when we press yes to begin our adventure, and then the time ends when we fully skip the cutscene right before the credits. So let's get started. So you can immediately hold B to skip a lot of cutscenes. There's gonna be a little bit of plot points here, but basically she's a dancer, and you know, she kind of works at a tavern dancing for people. So there's a little bit of a whatever backstory here. We just have to run around a little bit, but I'll introduce stuff about her path actions. So Octopath has something called path actions, where we use special moves to do stuff. Primrose's path action is a lure, where she can kind of like how do I say this? She can kind of, you know, like charm people into following her, and they have can summon them in battle. So we'll be seeing this here in a second. You saw I did that buy menu earlier to buy a weapon, because I'm gonna need it for fights, because it has good magic weapon damage. So dancers in this game are based on kind of like buffs, but they also do some decent amounts of damage, magic damage. So we're gonna do this force lure here. Bring the guy over to the tavern because they need more money. Got a couple more cutscenes here. And then after this, we'll be heading off to our first dungeon. I'm gonna grab this lady because we're gonna want her for this boss fight coming up. And for those of you who are a little bit familiar with the speedruns, and for those of you not, this is probably the hardest speedrun to get into, just because there's a huge mix of RNG.
I am ready.
And the final fight is probably the toughest fight, because it's not very straightforward, and you kind of have to make do with what you have.
May I have
And Primrose is very squishy, so this encounter is already pretty scary if I don't run it. So you notice in that first encounter, I attacked the lizard once. So there's a sort of like shield system where when enemies go to 0 shields, when they get hit with their weakness, they enter a broken state where they lose their action on the same turn and then their action on the next turn. So we'll be taking advantage of that. So this is the boss, our first boss Helic Initiator. He's pretty simple. So it can go wrong. Pretty much every single boss fight in this category can go wrong for various reasons.
I am ready.
So I need this lady to flurry. She has a 33% chance to flurry. If she does not flurry, I'll be in a world of hurt, pretty much.
I am ready.
And alright, she did her work, so this fight is okay in my book. So this guy doesn't have a lot of HP, so but it's just that criminals just can't take many hits, so that's why pretty much every single fight can be scary. So you'll notice we use that soul stone here, we grab the soul stone from one of the chests. That's a shadow soul stone. When we hit enemies with a weakness, they deal about 1.33 times more damage. We're also going to ignore the guy because he's not relevant to what we're doing. So still, soul stones deal a fixed amount of damage, not counting weaknesses. So a small soul stone deals a base of 200 damage, and we'll be seeing some more overpowered soul stones. In the meantime, here is the scary encounter. I don't like ants. So now that we've beaten Chapter 1, we can pretty much travel the entire world here. So the first thing we're going to go do is travel all the way north to the Atlas Dam area. So we want to recruit Cyrus. So Cyrus is a really nice character to have in this category because he has something called he can learn a support skill called Evasive Maneuvers, which doubles the amount of steps that we can take before we get an encounter, which is going to be really useful because we're going to be exploring areas way beyond our level. So yeah, it's going to be a long walk up there. So each area is generally, without evasive maneuvers, guaranteed to have 1 or 2 encounters, and a lot of these encounters hurt, especially quickly.
I'm ready.
You see Primrose only has 250 HP, and we didn't get any items, so we're getting hit 30 damage from the little people, and yeah, it's RNG whether or not you escape, but you're guaranteed to escape on the 5th try. And the chance of escaping increases the more you the more you fail escapes. So most of the enemies in this area and the area before can be broken with daggers, which Primrose right now can only attack with daggers and dark attacks. So, but from here on, I can't break anything unless I get the summon lady. Her job, which is pretty slow. She can only use bows. So if I'd be very scared if I get certain encounters, because I also have limited healing supplies, and it's not that common to, if you have really bad luck at escaping, just not have any supplies to get to the Atlas Dam. So we had to do a little backtracking to get here, because we'll be getting later one of the most overpowered characters, especially in this game. But we'll just tag here because we can, if we tag a town, we can visit it later using the fast travel system. Hopefully, I do not want to see. I'm okay with birds, but if I don't get surprised. So getting surprised means that they have a free attack on you. But I do not want to see ants. I do not want to see fishes. And I don't want to see double encounters. Because double encounters means more actions that they take on me when I fail to escape inevitably. So this isn't too bad so far. It could be worse. We haven't had to use healing grapes yet, which heal us.
I am ready.
But you know, she's not doing a very good job at escaping from these encounters, but that's okay. We're not dead. But so dying in this game isn't a huge deal because each area you transition to, you get an autosave, which just means I can just reload the next area. Like, it's a time loss, but no, there's just not much we can do.
I am ready.
So we're almost to Atlas Dam, so this is the Atlas Dam area. So we just have 2 more encounters, and we'll be making it there. Alright, so that's fine.
I am ready.
We're also gonna come up, if you remember what I explained about Primrose's lure, it's not guaranteed because it's considered a rogue action, and rogue actions have a chance to fail. And if you don't get it within if you fail 5 times in the town, you are pretty much, you pretty much have to go back to the tavern and kind of restore your reputation. Just kind of like pay off people. So that you don't get in trouble again and not everyone's wary of you. So I'm gonna eat this elderly woman away. And if you remember how I told you this is very RNG, this guard is 10%. So if I fail this 5 times, then I have to reload the save. So I'll be donating $1 for every failed rogue action I do at Primrose, so that's already $5.
Oh my, really?
Yeah, this is mandatory just because we don't have a good way of beating the bosses. So we want to grab characters for our speed run, because you know we can't do all this alone. It's a pretty tall task. That's 6.
Man.
7, okay, or 6 tries. That's actually pretty good. It's
Nice,
not common
GG.
it's not common to get like 20-30 tries to get this guard, so that's pretty
6 is pretty
good.
good. Yeah.
But that's not all. We're just beginning though. Because if you remember how I said Primrose is very squishy, Cyrus is also very squishy. Because we get him really early and we don't really bother to go level him. We're just gonna go immediately straight to the boss here because this guard is really strong. And that's why we pretty much have to grab him, or else we don't have any really good ways of getting stuff that kills bosses really fast, so that guard happens to be the fastest way, but it does come at a cost of a 10% chance to allure, and each time you have to reset it, you lose about 20 seconds. So if you remember what I said about the lady needing to flurry, this guy also needs to flurry.
I am ready.
This guard's gonna be really strong. You see, he's already doing 440 damage without any buffs or anything like that. The reason why I need this guy to flurry is because everything in here hurts.
I am ready.
And he has 33% chance to press flurry, and that's already really good, so... This guy only has about, like, 2.9k HP. So we get him to flurry, this battle's pretty short. I think he might live past this, but that's okay.
I am ready.
Alright, very nice. So that was pretty lucky or so. Pretty good, Cyrus chapter. We have 2 other characters to get though, but we have another RNG segment coming up, so RNG is the name of this category because we have to so in order to get the support skill of evasive maneuvers, we have to grind if you saw, we get EXP and JP, which is kind of like the job point system. So if you ever played or heard of Final Fantasy 5, it's 4 or 5, which is very much like that. We need to grind a total of 130 JP points. No, I don't want to part ways. In order for us to be able to learn the basic maneuvers on Cyrus. If we didn't get Cyrus, we'd have to go to the Scholar Shrine, which is extremely scary with Primrose because it's a higher level area. So, and we need Cyrus to do other stuff anyways. So because he has a very useful path action called Scrutinize, where he kind of interrogates people.
May I?
And likewise with criminals, it also has a chance to fail.
Think not.
And
I'm
yeah, I'll be donating money, $1 for every single failed action he does, because sometimes, you know, Cyrus just doesn't do his
I'm
job.
ready.
So I pretty much just kill any encounter on the way here, just because it's safer. I can easily, you know, a little extra JP always helps, because we have a 33% chance of getting the encounter we want. Ideally, getting the encounter we want, we can do with it, make do with any encounter, but we'll be very sad. This also makes me a little sad, but that's okay. So the more criminals in Cyrus don't do their jobs, the more money charity gets. That's cool.
The show is over.
I'll also be donating $5 for every death. 'Cause
Oh.
deaths are a little RNG. And then for the final boss, I'll be donating $20 if I die to the second part of the final boss. Which, by the way, this is the only category where.
May I?
Oh, hi, kitty. So, alright, so this is a Kate.
You like that?
Kates give us a lot of XP and JP. It also makes a couple things in this category a little more forgiving. I was pretty lucky there. So, I can explain why it's a little more forgiving on the gear section later, but Kates are basically open the gateway for alternate versions of various categories, but we won't be talking about that because Kates are a 3% chance in the main area for you to get an encounter, which there are some categories where you grind to get a Kate in order to start a run, which is a 3% chance, so
Oh my gosh, really?
you can just and I have grinded it, and there's plenty of other people who have grinded that, so yeah. And so Kates have 4 HP because you can only deal like 1% of your usual damage to them, and they like to run away, so it's if you want to get the good times in many of the single story categories, it's very RNG gated. So I normally don't get this in the single story category, but this makes the final boss a little safer, because it gives me a little bit more flexibility. But this is something that you can do called a sub job. So you can give sub jobs to people who obviously aren't already part of that job. So by getting that, I can give the sub job Scholar Primrose, which gives her the ability to learn skills that are kind of Iris and stuff. That's 7, 8, Oringu, 9, 10. Okay. So if I fail this, I had to reload too. So it's a 36% at Cyrus's level, and this 84% I have to get. If I don't get it, I have to reset. It's the fastest way to get items. We got through that, so we're at 10. It could be a lot worse. Now we're gonna get our most overpowered character in this game, Tressa. So Tressa is a very overpowered character for various reasons. If you've never seen a speedrun in this game, I'm going to say this game is pay to win.
What do you mean?
So Tressa is part of the merchant class. So merchants have the skill called hired help. And a lot of the single story categories is about running around to grab a lot of money, because we need a lot of money to fund one of the summons that we can do for hired help called veterans.
I've done my research on
And veterans are basically going to be our primary source of
what
damage,
is the logical course of action.
because we're actually really low level, and we're not going to be doing any grinding because that's slow. But veterans, on the other hand, they deal a lot of damage and they're not level gated. So all they need is a lot of money, and thankfully there's a lot of money laying around in this category and around the world of Ostera, which is the world that Octopath is. pretty much all the single story categories for grab chests because merchant's just that overpowered. It also has a lot of good utility, but and other skills, but we won't be focusing on that. For this category, we only need hired help. So you'll notice I grabbed the Thunder Soulstone L. I did mention that Soulstones deal fixed damage, the mediums deal 1400. The largest deal 2700 base damage, and these guys have around about 3.5k HP, and give or take. So you just saw me just like kill one of the bosses straight up. I didn't kill the other boss because I didn't get a flurry from that guy, but that's okay. But yeah, Soulstones are our secondary source of damage, just because veterans aren't perfect and we only have so much money, so the leftover damage that we do is generally just based on throwing rocks at people. Or throwing elemental rocks at people for a lot of damage, because they're giant rocks. So that's the end of big RNG segment number 1. So now that we have some of our main characters, we'll be getting the 4th character a little bit later. I'm going to be doing a little bit of exploration because we need to pretty much essentially tag towns here. Because Primrose is a chapter 4 town in the area. I'm going to grab this Soulstone for safety, because there's the concept of damage ranges on bosses, which this category has plenty of. Grab that for a little extra money. So we're going to be doing a little exploration here, so we're going to grab this warrior shrine first off. They'll be a little useful for us. Grab this category. So most of you have actually played this game casually might be thinking, why don't you grab 2 merchants? Because merchants is very overpowered. Primrose is the only category where you only use 1 merchant for the speedrun, just because of the nature of the boss fights. We have plenty of turns. We just don't need a second merchant. It just doesn't offer us enough. I grab this Soulstone and so we do this section of exploration just because it's very conveniently on the way and we can grab a lot of money from various places, because we're gonna need a lot of money for our pay-to-win expenses. And we're gonna grab a couple with rocks as well. So with evasive maneuvers, we can pretty much explore these areas without getting an encounter, because without it, we would get encounters really early, and obviously we're really low level, so we can't survive it. That's why we need evasive maneuvers, but even evasive maneuvers can't save us from all the areas that we can't. So this is another one of them, also because we have a bunch of items, so there's a couple ways to reload your steps. So as you see there, I did a save and quit, which reloads my step counter. You can also reload your step encounter by going to a different area, with a couple exceptions. You can also reload your autosave. You can provoke or challenge someone with someone else's path action, which we're not going to do in the run. But saving and reloading and transitioning to different screens, what you'll mostly see. The only place where transitioning screens doesn't work is in mansions, because because the encounters there are basically the same. So it still counts towards your step encounter. So you going to different areas resets your step encounter just because there's different enemies. So another reason why Tress is a very good character is because you'll notice we're getting money as we run through areas. Tress's special ability is called Eye for Money. So basically, to put it very bluntly, you find some unfortunate souls and loots money from them. You know, she's just an opportunistic merchant. Can't blame her. So now we have the first part of the exploration complete, so we can now go grab our fourth character, which is all the way on the other side, which also happens to be on the way to our chapter 2. So if you have anything you want to plug, because we're just walking around a little while here, you can feel free to.
There's no donos so far yet. Or new ones, I mean. I find all this fascinating. Sorry, I'm listening to you. I'm just like, I don't know this game, so this is pretty cool.
That's a little annoying. All right, we're
I'm
gonna
ready.
flee, cause easy first try, always. Yeah, this game is like very simple, but like in the same time like very complex, especially if you play at a very high level. We've gotten some really good luck on this category so far, but it's not the end of it. But the music in this game is very good, so even if I'm not talking, you all can at least enjoy the very good music.
Can you give like a summary of like what Primrose, like the story behind this?
So basically,
I'm ready.
she's a dancer, to put it very PG-13. She's been kind of like, so she used to be like sort of like a princess,
I'm
but
ready.
then like her dad died and their kingdom got taken over by some bad people. So she kind of escaped, and then now she's been working as a dancer for pretty much a singular reason only. She saw 3 people with the mark of the crow on various parts of their body. So she's been pretty much just working as a dancer, trying to find out their whereabouts. And you know, in chapter 1, she saw one of them working with her boss, and then she basically kills her boss in order to get kind of like data on that, and it leads her to a certain area. But basically, the theme of her story is revenge. So basically, Inigo Montoya's "you killed my father, prepare to die" type of stuff.
Chat's asking what kind of dancing? Salsa dancing?
A little more than salsa dancing. It also ties in with the incentive that y'all helped to meet. Which, thank you very much. It's for donating to the charity. It's a very good charity. Oh, I'm getting all the escapes. Very lucky person today. Normally it's a little risky to escape from that because you waste a lot of time.
Let's get this
But yeah, each of the 3 bosses is just like people she's gonna kill because they had the mark of something on her.
I'm ready.
So we're gonna have to break this boss because we don't have enough stones or enough rocks to chuck at people.
I'm ready. You like that?
And yeah, if you all notice, the bosses are very big compared to the characters. It's just to emphasize that they're big bad people, and everyone else is just really small. Yeah, Primrose has generally a darker story compared to some of the other characters in this game. Just because there's just a lot of sad stuff happening. I'm gonna steal this for safety, because I'm still gonna steal Healing Grape because it'll be useful for the last boss. And steal Nourishing Nut and just for our stats here. So now we have all 4 of our characters here. We can start generally just tackling some of the bosses because we also grabbed some money. The exploration section is pretty pretty split just because we're convenient near the place at the end, so we don't want to go loot those places immediately. We're gonna go to her chapter 2 town where she kind of finds out that they're having or this guy has a mansion and is basically holding or basically owns to be very blunt, a brothel. And she has to find a way to pretty much get in there that she can try to kill him. Yeah, the big theme of this is just like killing people because they murdered her dad. Yeah, so for the sub job system, like you can only have one character assigned to a sub job at once. So like you can't have like 8 dancers, for example. You can only have 2, Primrose and one other person with a dancer class, for example. Alright, so we're coming up on RNG segment number, I don't know, 100 or so. I had to get this 40% 48% scrutinized. It's usually 40%, but virus. 2 tries for it. So I needed that because I'm gonna unlock more items in this shop and buy empowering rings for more HP and the most important item, Herbs of Clamor. We're also gonna scrutinize this guy. So he gives us some money items. So that's gonna give us some more free money. Alright, so we're gonna be coming up on this cutscene I wanted to kind of voice that because it's really funny. So, alright. Hey Primrose, what's a brothel? I tried to ask Ariana, but she just hemmed and hawed and then wandered off.
Oh, is this the
Yeah, this is the cutscene. Sorry, I should have
Oh wow.
warned you.
Okay, I was like, oh, okay. Teresa, there are just some things that children shouldn't know.
Oh come on, this is getting annoying. Someone just tell me. And I'm not a child, by the way. Which, by the way, Tressa's 17, so she hasn't really seen the world, so that's why she had to ask what's brought, though.
If you insist, lean in closer and I'll whisper it. Do you get it now? Tressa, your mouth is hanging agape.
Or, sorry, I forgot it was still open.
What? That was it. Was that it?
Yep, that was it. So yeah, that's called like little cutscene banter. That's like the characters interacting with each other. Because like these stories are more like kind of like individual stories, and your characters don't normally interact with each other unless it's like through those. But yeah, poor Tressa gets her world shattered.
That was fun. I like that little like slice of life, like nuggets of cutscenes. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a couple of really funny ones as well, but this one's probably the most funniest. I'm so sorry, Tressa, for shattering your innocence. Oh yeah, basically, we kind of ask one of the ladies who happens to be Primrose's old servant to help us out, and then we kind of try to, seduce that guy to kind of bring us to his big mansion that he lives in. So we're gonna grab a couple more rocks. And then more cutscenes. So yeah, we figured to skip all the cutscenes. So the only spoilers you'd be seeing is bosses. So we're gonna do a menu here to equip all the rings that we just bought, as well as armor on Primrose, and then menu here to get our characters set up here. Hired help and Joseph with his skill. With the Cyrus. Actually, he didn't need it. I'm actually gonna change his menu a little bit because he got a Kate, so that means our menu's a little more generous. So Primrose and Cyrus are much higher in HP. That's why I give it to Therion, the next squishiest person. And we're gonna be coming up on our next boss here. Which is the one with the crow on the left hand. As you see.
I'm ready.
So this boss fight is pretty simple. We just don't want people to die, because, oh my god. I'm going to cast Armor Corrosive, because it makes physical attacks deal more damage. Do this. I heal, because she took a decent amount of damage already. So if you remember what I mentioned about breaking, you can see here it removes her actions. So hopefully these two ads don't kill Tressa, because please no. I throw a Soulstone here to weaken them a little bit. And then we're gonna pay to win. So, a lot of the speedrun is getting old men to do our bidding. So, it's a damage range, but it's not a big deal if we don't hit it, because pretty much any other attacks from our characters can kill them. Yeah, Ariana drops a more stronger word, but we didn't really see it because we skipped all the cutscenes. And so we're gonna grab the Flurry lady here. Flurry is also the main theme of this. So if it makes you think of McDonald's McFlurry and it makes you hungry, I'm sorry. So yeah, we're gonna do sidetrack a little here. Because there's a couple of really nice items and more money that we grab. I'm gonna grab a 30k chest here and grab a nice equipment, which, so if you see why this is purple, this means that if we needed Therion there to loot that, because Therion has a special ability where he can loot from a purple chest, and they normally contain like some useful items. So that happens to be a very useful item that is very good for other speedruns, but in here we just sell it for an extra money. And yeah, Primrose can somehow deal with very cold areas. I believe one of the travel banters. And she's just fine in a really cold area with those clothes. So yeah, so now the killing that guy, he told her to go to the town where she used to kind of like be a princess to find out like the truth, say the least. And so she kind of talks with other people, and she kind of finds out they're staying in her old here. So I'm gonna do a menu here. Iris and Sight. Backofo here, because this next boss, while he's not too tough, he generally one-hits our party member without any form of defensive measure. So
let me just interject. The dono site's being really slow right now. However, you did get some donos during. I don't know when this might have happened, but you got 2 anonymous donos. One with 5 saying, "Give me that McFlurry." So that must be recent. And another anonymous for $3.
thank you very much. Hey, I haven't had a McFlurry in a long time, but hey.
Same.
I know a lot of people. I know there's some people who like it. So we auto reload here because a lot of this place is a little scary because there's just a lot of It's a pretty long screen and it's control you, but hey, we made it through. So this is
The main event.
Albus. He pretty much one-hits people, otherwise nothing really special, but he's got a lot of evasion, which is why we got the Slurry Lady.
What next? Come.
Because summons have 100% accuracy.
My turn now.
Rip Cyrus.
So much to
Let me help.
That's okay though, because he's basically there to take one for the team.
I see.
So the premise of this fight is just basically to break him on turn 3. Wow, that's rude. Okay. Alright. I might have to
Let me help.
delay a turn. Depending on
Think not.
yeah, I definitely have to delay a turn.
Come.
So he doesn't really do anything though, he'll just basically kill someone. It's just a minor
I'm
annoyance.
ready.
So much to
Alright, hopefully the lady does not flurry here because I don't want to take early.
my way. Here.
Yeah, so Cyrus' job here is just to take one for the team. Just gonna palm myself, cause save the palm. Already very nice, so after we break him, it's just a matter of paying to winning.
Out of my way. Here.
And then we just need to throw two rocks,
A gift for you.
because we need some extra damage.
Take this.
I'm gonna throw an extra rock here just to be safe because there is a damage range, and if we don't hit it, it's kind of bad.
You like that?
Think not.
Alright, I didn't need to throw that. Oh well, that's fine. Yeah. Pretty much every single fight in this, every single boss fight control you. In some way. Like, for this boss, it's not that bad because you can easily find a way with that out of it, but the game can't control. Not too bad so far. But we're coming up on the other huge RNG sequence game. Or in this category. Okay. So we're gonna do one more little mini exploration segments here. So you didn't see the cutscene, but basically, Primrose got to talk to someone, and that someone betrayed her at the end there, just by arriving and then beating her up and getting away. So basically, Primrose just chases him. Yeah, the story's pretty much all about revenge. If I didn't emphasize it enough. I have a couple items here. Please counter. Thank you.
Compared to the other characters, is this one easier or harder? Or
This is probably the hardest category for a
oh,
new player to run into, just because there's so much RNG in this category. And the last boss, you kind of need to think on your feet, because there's no real script. There's no like strict script that you can use for the last boss fight. Yeah, because you have to face 2 bosses consecutively, which makes it's not impossible for new runs to get into, but it's a bigger learning curve for new runners, just because of the amount of RNG. And basically, I've seen new runners just get stuck on the final boss for hours.
ooh.
Because generally, like, it's a brutal category, especially if you're looking to get a really good time in. But if you're looking, but there are plenty of also beginner-friendly categories here, namely Ophelia Single Story, which is a very easy category for new players to get into. So, anyhow, I sold there because we need a total of 150,000 gold, which is 5 vets. Yeah, are facing, yes, you guessed it, 2 bosses at once, or 2 bosses. There's 2 phases to this boss, and they both have a beefy amount of HP. But thankfully, this place also contains a lot of free money. So I'm actually on a really pretty decent pace. It's not PB pace, because PB pace. I need something extraordinary to happen on my PB pace.
Oh, what's your PB time?
My PB is a 44, 49. So getting to PB in this game would probably be a world record, and it's very hard to get into this category, so a little unlucky encounter, so... Alright, so that's another $5 to charity. I did that for content. Because it's kind of... It can be sometimes hard to get through the screen without a encounter. I believe we're at $17. There's nothing I can do, because... Especially because we're in a very high level area, it's just very hard to flee from encounters.
I still have
Oh no.
so much to learn.
So, yeah, it's not a big deal if I die here, like I said, because there's an autosave, and my encounter steps reset, so I'm gonna do one more here. I want cover on Cyrus and then to attack Fleetfoot on Therion, because I want him to be fast. Ramos is faster, but now with that, Therion is faster, because he has an appropriate CC last ball. And Cyrus's job is to usually just take one for the team. We're gonna grab a couple more items here, and then we're gonna be ready to start most RNG, probably the most RNG segment if early game wasn't enough. If people thought 10% were bad, well, I've got news for you. But I am taking the safer variant, so it's a little more likely I can beat the first part, but I still have to deal with the second one pretty much completely on me. But a little more consistent. Phase 1. Grab this chest here, no chest, and we'll be starting this fight. And the reason why, really,
Here I come.
that's rude. It's a little rare to get this encounter, but
I am ready.
kind of sucks, you know. But I don't think these guys hurt, but I might have to reload the screen. Oh, okay, they just casted a very bad attack, so
I still have
might have to take the L here. I believe we're at $22 for charity so far. Yeah, this encounter is pretty rare, so you generally take the risk. Oh, kind of unfortunate, but that's okay. No, the screen transition does not reset the stepping count. Because we are in a mansion. So, this is the reason why, this, category's final boss is generally the most terrifying. Because of our ads here. So, the male puppet here, if I don't get a shackle foe on him and he sweeps, everyone's instantly dead. There's no getting around that, there's no, collect your $200. As you see here, I barely just live.
my friends.
So,
I
then
have
Cyrus died, that's okay. I had to look at my turn order here, which is actually a little risky. I'm gonna try and risk it here.
Flames, burn this away.
I should be okay if this next turn order is good.
I'll give my
First try this, but it's not over. So basically I need to break these ads, and I need a good turn order so that I can break Simeon here. So I'm actually gonna break him.
Here.
This might not be enough, but I think it's okay.
I see.
I did this a little wrong, but I just have to go.
Stay strong.
Because there's a chance this last puppet doesn't do it.
A gift for you.
So I need a 2-stone to throw 2 rocks there. But as long as the male puppet doesn't sweep, that's fine. Because this guy, or Simeon just doesn't do it. That's okay though, we'll just have a slightly longer fight. It's not a big deal.
What gift is yours and mine?
fight. So, let me see how I think about this, because I need to kill this last ad. I do have an extra soul stone.
Try this on for size.
That's fine. Okay, yeah. Okay.
Sorry.
Like this.
Yeah, that... I just died there because I just had a bad turn order, and I tried to take a chance and I couldn't deal with it, but that's sometimes how this fight goes, so...
Oh no.
I generally, ideally on turn 1, I want Cyrus to have his before he dies. He's made to kind of, like, die. But unfortunately, sometimes it just isn't the case because he's low. But that's okay. There's a lot of ways you can kind of get out of this fight, but like, you'd have to be very experienced at this category to know how to get out of that fight. So this turn in order is looking a little better, because it's Cyrus before and Therion before the male puppet.
Now, what next? Great inferno to scorch the land.
Alright, so this is guaranteed, as long as I don't miss menu.
Let's I'll get my money.
Yeah, we can break these 3 enemies here.
I see.
Need armor corrosive to get some good damage. We also need a palm tressa.
How about this?
She used her BP. So I think I forgot to explain the BP system, but basically BP, it's kind of like extra boost points you can do to take more actions. So like,
I see.
you'll see I boosted Primrose's dagger attacks, which would let me do three dagger attacks at
A
once.
gift for you.
But more boost points means that your abilities are just generally more powered up. And if you and assuming you don't use you didn't boost your BP, you can pretty much you gain 1 BP per turn unless you boosted.
What's yours is mine.
What to do? This should do the trick.
I just need to throw 2 more stones here.
You like that?
A gift for you. No, you don't.
And then get old men to do our work here. That's phase 1.
How's that?
So yeah, this next boss is also very RNG because I want him to have staggered turns so that I can rest people, because he's guaranteed to kill someone.
Time for the main.
Generally, you can get a lot out of this fight, but if you get just like bad RNG, it's just very bad. So okay, so he's out immediately, which is actually not bad.
Come, if you dare.
I'm going to incite here because I want to.
Later.
So he's only weak to daggers, so I need to.
Here I go. Let me help.
I need 2 people to get 1 dagger hit. Hi Cyrus, that's fine. Actually 3 now because we didn't have an ideal turn order, but so I need Therion to hit this HP, please.
Let's do this.
Actually.
Okay.
So I can leave Cyrus dead for a little bit here. It's not ideal, but
I see.
so I have to kind of think about my turn orders carefully because if I miss menu, then I'm kind of dead. But I need to use 3 sets of vets. I need to throw 4 stones. I need to keep track of everyone's BP because Therion and Cyrus's BP matter.
Stay strong.
So there's just so many things I have to keep track
Out
of.
of my way.
That's what kind of makes this category a little difficult.
Here.
So you'll notice I bought a safety firestone because his next phase, he's going to silence everyone. And that's why herbal clamors are the most important item in this, because they heal silence. Then here,
Oh
herbal clamor myself. And yeah, Cyrus doesn't have BP, so which is why I bought the backup Fire M.
You like
Because
that?
he's weak to fire and sword.
Looks like think not.
And so now we can just throw 3 stones here.
You like that?
So we have 3 more stones to throw. So this one wasn't too bad. I just had to think about it a little bit because just so many things to keep track of.
My turn now.
Which also is part of why this boss is really difficult.
Take this.
You like that?
And that's 2 bosses done, so timer ends when the last part of this cutscene fills. And not bad, with 1 death to Simeon 1,
GG.
so... I believe that is, I think that's... Let's see, so I died 3 times. That's $27 to charity for all the deaths, so... Yeah. Not too bad. We had average luck, so... It's about on par for this category. Because even top runners can... It's just hard to kind of find ways out of it if you...
Mhm.
If you don't have like a good turn order, which is a little random. It's based on speed, but it's a little random. But hey, we got through both phases of the bosses. Not too bad. That's why the estimate compared to my my PB is pretty high, just because of all the RNG that can happen.
But that was, yeah, like what Beck said, it's really cool. I don't know anything. I learned a lot from that. Pretty crazy end fight too. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, there's a few times where I just have to sit there and think about it for a second, just because if I make the wrong decision, I'm dead.
Nice. Well, is there anything in the credits that we should know about?
Nope, this credits is just pretty much 8 minutes of
Okay.
mostly black screens, but it just shows you how you killed each of the big bosses. So it's also
Yeah.
a very long credit, so I think we can cut it pretty soon. But I just want to shout out the Octopath community. I saw a couple of you all in chat. Thank you very much for coming in to support. We're a very cool RPG community, speedrun community. There's guides for every single category out there, and we have this one's the hardest category, but I promise you, there's other categories that